I mean, which also then points to the Breonna Taylor case. Again, the police go in, falsely obtained warrant. You go in, shoot up the place, and the only charge is for wanton endangerment. Not the people below, not the people above Breonna Taylor, but the people on the other side of Breonna Taylor's flat where one bullet went in.
And the initial charges were actually against the boyfriend.
For shooting at the police.
For fighting back. I mean, you're sleeping. Somebody burst into your house. If you do have a weapon, what would you do? Think about that.
I know in the South, some people will get away with that.
You know? And yet he was the one who is initially charged. And any charge that came subsequently was because of public pressure at the highest levels. Persistent. And the protests, of course. The demonstrations. The unrelenting, tireless demonstrations. That also really helped. So we take some lessons from all of these. We need to critique and push back against media that demonize our people. We need to teach our people to really actually love themselves.
Yes, indeed.
Repudiate all that, the consequences.
Decolonize your minds.
Decolonize your mind, in fact, which I think is one of the books that you have.
Yes.
Sister. I think, there you go.
Yes.
You have the colonialists have made you think that you're inferior, and you look at your brothers and sisters as inferior. You need to stop that.
Right. You need to stop that. And these are titles that we are going to recommend and post at the end of the show. But there's also another title, actually, that may not be widely available. And it is a phenomenal collection of essays. And I'm not saying this just because the late author was also from Uganda, my birth country, but it's actually true. And it's called Africa's Cultural Revolution.
Yes.
By Okot Bitek. So Okot is O-K-O-T, and the last name is sometimes spelled B-I-T-E-K. But the correct spelling is actually P, and then apostrophe, and then B-I-T-E-K. And it does a phenomenal job. And of course, it's not by accident that he was also very tight friends with Ngugi wa Thiong'o.
Yep.
Some of the closest friends. And I think Ngugi writes the introduction to that book, Africa's Cultural Revolution. And in that book, he's saying we need to re-examine the European worshipping that we have in our institutions at every level. Whether it's from the church, whether it's the schools, whether it's in the type of government.
Take white Jesus off the wall.
Exactly. Yes. The culture, the books we read. Why do we praise the waltz and ballet? Who can say that the waltz and ballet are better than Makonde carvings or the Ngoma dance of the Africans? He says we need to re-examine all of that at every level. So I strongly recommend that book as well, Africa's Cultural Revolution.
Ngugi also says, I don't understand why in the heat of Kenya, anyone will put on a play. What was that play again? Jane Eyre. And people will go in their coattails. And he said he had to do a double take. He was coming back from the university. And when he saw people walking past, and at first, he thought maybe they were in blackface, but he realized they were actually Kenyans.
Yep.
They were in coattails and top hats.
Yep. And what about the judges?
Don't even get us started on the wigs.
The judges, that's where I was going. The judges wear blonde wigs.
Get us started on the wigs.
Come on.
It doesn't even make sense.
On wearing a wig, at the very least, let it be a black wig to match with your natural hair, like the kind of hair I have. If I was compelled to wear those wigs, then I would make it at least, a black wig, right?
Yeah.
They made the blonde wigs because the Europeans, judges in Europe had that type of hair. So,
So you're a black man.
We have our work cut out for us.
Yes.
But we must continue doing it,
So you're a black man or woman in the legal system in Africa operating. I'm now picturing that the imagery operating under the blonde whiteness. So you are literally putting white supremacy on your head.
Exactly.
Literally putting white supremacy on your head and saying, this is governing how I do law.
the underlying reason for the wearing of the wigs is actually much more interesting than that. It depicts wisdom.
Hold on.
So
you're making our lives even much more difficult.
Hold on,
brother
please.
Adesoji.
Hold on, brother. Hold on.
We had already
So
absorbed enough pain.
we had
but
let
now
it go.
He's elevating it by saying it goes even beyond.
So it depicts European wisdom, because at the time the idea of judges sitting over cases was that whoever has those wigs on is supposed to be wise in the ways of that guild.
Right.
Because what they usually sat on was cases involving guilds. So you then come in, literally, someone you come into there, you see them wearing the wig already. So you go in, and if you notice, what do they say when they approach the bench? My lord.
Lord have mercy, Africans.
Well
we have a lot of decolonizing of our minds to do. I will say a prayer for us all tonight. Go on.
No shade to the lawyers, but you guys need to read some more. But
brother,
going on the wig, we have somebody we out user says, right, I don't get the wigs part. If you rename your country after independence, but you keep the wigs, it is mind-boggling.
It truly is.